You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
From Mercer County Park in West Windsor Township, New Jersey, this is the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies. It's the second game of our doubleheader here from Central New Jersey as the 3-1 Philadelphians take on the NYC Titans, looking for their first win at 0-2. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Barish. Great to have you along for another game in this Minor League Cricket Championship. The Titans are still looking for their first victory of the season after two pretty solid losses in their opening games. The Philadelphians are coming off an exhilarating victory yesterday when they were looking all but done at 11 for 3, come back and defeat the Manhattan Yorkers. Here's a look at the starting lineups. First for the Philadelphians, who won the toss and will bat first. Only one out. It's Yashwant Balaji as he makes way for Dwanai Drysdale, who makes his 2024 debut. Captain Jonathan Fu wanting to take advantage of the dry conditions. As you see, Ryan Scott and Christopher Van Tol, who weren't the story yesterday. Bhaskar Yadram's unbeaten 67, leading the Phillies to a victory over a game Manhattan Yorkers side. And we look at some of the other bowlers there in A.J. Mohammed and Sarpal Islam. As for the NYC Titans, they have two changes. Out goes Gaurav Jaiswal and the captain Raj Mahabi. Santosh Sama and Rawal Saman will come in as well. Of course, they are led by Kwame Patton Jr., who will have the captaincy today. It'll be interesting to see how they do against this Philadelphians attack. Quick word on the conditions. It is blustery. It's 10 miles an hour with gusts to 17, or check that with gusts to 20. And there is a line of rain showers that is threatening to come through in probably the next 90 minutes or so. We're hoping that it's just a quick shower and won't upset the game too much. But as we said, Jonathan Fu, with the conditions the way they are, dry but blustery, wants to try and see if he can put a score up on the board and force the Titans to bat either in darkening conditions or perhaps in wet conditions, as the case may be. This is the fifth time that the two teams have met. Of course, the Titans, known prior to this season as the Empire State Titans, they've had two of their games called off because of rain, including one last year on September 10th. The Philadelphians have won the last three matches, including the one game they did play when Ryan Scott hit 58 from 29 at Clemens Park in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. Sarpal Islam had a good day, taking 3 for 4. Varun Mantha, who is not in the lineup today, but who now plays for the Philadelphians, made the last out of the innings when the Titans were dismissed for 107 before the Philadelphians won by 8 wickets with 58 balls to spare on Labor Day weekend a season ago. The Titans wearing the white with the blue and red trim on their shoulders. The Philadelphians, of course, in their familiar yellow and black. And speaking of familiar, it'll be the two openers, Christopher Van Tol and Ryan Scott, who had a rough go of it yesterday. Didn't really making a whole impact. In fact, Ryan Scott dismissed for a duck. And coming off of his best performance with a 40 in the game on Monday in a losing effort. First ball of the game is swung on and missed by Christopher Van Tol, who had 74 not out in a losing effort to the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers on Monday. That was who they were playing when Scott got for 40. It is Viral Parikh who struggled to find the wicket in terms of the stumps. He bowled 11 wides in the loss against the New Jersey Stallions last week. And once again, he has gone wide here. And the first run is an extra, just as it was in the last game. In case you missed it, the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers comprehensive winners over the Manhattan Yorkers by 97 runs. And I dare say, with all due respect, it wasn't even that close. Parikh again over the wicket. Defended by Christopher Van Tull, the Jamaican. Played last year with the Titans, and the season before was their wicketkeeper. Now they've got Kwame Patton Jr. The ball by Parikh, just getting by the bat of Christopher Van Tull. Take a look at yesterday and what had happened with the Philadelphians, who sent out a couple of younger players in Yashwant Balaji and Taha Wairich. Balaji not in the lineup today, Wairich is, and they were both dismissed for a duck after Scott was sent away. Defended to the onside, good bowling by Parikh. Wind getting even more blustery here, as we mentioned, up to 20-mile-per-hour gusts. Going to be an interesting day, especially with the weather, as we mentioned. Chance of showers, about a 65% chance, so we'll see how that affects things, but here's the fifth ball of the over. Defended once again, but not far enough for Van Tull and Scott to exchange places. Parikh set again. Final ball from the dog park end. Plays that one off the hips. There's Christopher Van Tull, who went down the track, but did just get back in time. Good over by Parikh, who was wild in that first. In fact, he had given up a 13 ball over in the first one, and at the end of one, they are one without loss.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think. Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So here's Keshav Rawal, who will come into the attack from the Edinburgh Road end. Philadelphians won without loss after the first over. And Ryan Scott will face. And jammed him right behind the wicket. Kwame Patton Jr. comes over and scoops that one back. Ryan Scott with a 40 in the victory, rather, as we said, in defeat. And other than that, it's been kind of tough for him so far this season. It's the only time he's been in double digits. Big swing, no contact. You can see he's itching to get away. Man who leads minor league cricket with 86s. Minor league cricket, beg your pardon. Batting from the left side. Makes some room and smacks this one over mid-wicket. And it's through for a 4. And there's the first runs off the back. Ryan Scott with a solid boundary. Just opening it up and just smacking that one through. So he's off the mark on his third delivery. Born in Jamaica. Man who's gotten 2 centuries, one of only 4 players to do so. Comes forward and defends this one away. The ball from the man in Revolve. Impressed with him yesterday, on Monday when we were calling the game against the Stallions. 5th ball upcoming. Turns this one off the hips, and he'll take a run off of that. It goes to 5, and Van Tol will come up to face the last ball of this over. Keeping an eye on a couple of things here in terms of the records, of course. Scott with 86s, Andres Hus. As a couple of the fans who've come out for the Philadelphians. They were here on Monday, actually. Said hello to them. The Philadelphia, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of good fans across the league, but I feel like they've got a fair bit who will just follow the team just about everywhere. And there's a few super fans who have even gone to see them in the playoffs. Cut away by Van Tol, but not through the infield cordon, and that ends the second over. Revolve does well, gives up just 5 at the end of 2. Having won the toss and elected the bat, the Philadelphians 6 without loss. Parikh will come back into the attack, or continue rather, from the dog park end. And Ryan Scott, who is 14th all-time in runs scored in minor league cricket history. Currently with 1,065. The man right behind him is his captain, Jonathan Fu, who with 10 runs will cross the 1,000-run plateau in minor league cricket. And here's Parikh to begin over number 3. Just played at that one and goes sailing past the wicket. This is much better from Parikh. We started to say at the end of the first over that in the game against the Stallions, there was one where he bowled 7 wides. 7 wide balls. That's not, getting by and being counted as 5. He bowled 7 wide balls. And, it's good to see him come back and bowl, I think, a little bit more consistently. He is a talented bowler. Big swing by Ryan Scott. And once again, Parikh bowling well. And Scott has not figured him out just quite yet. We mentioned Andres Hoos. Plays for the U.S. national team. Played so many years with Seattle and helped them win that championship 2 years ago before coming across in the big Major League Cricket shakeup. And currently playing in the Caribbean Premier League. I know the Dallas Exforia Giants, who he's now with, will be happy to see him return. Third ball of over number 3 by Parikh. He'll come over the wicket. Behind Ryan Scott, and Kwame Patton did a great job of stopping it with his feet and preventing more damage. And Parikh already has 2 wides now. All those wide balls came in the first over of the game against the Stallions, who chased down a target of 99 with 39 balls to spare. Siddhant Pillai, however, had a good game with 39. Scott with a line drive, humpback liner that'll get by the fielder and go all the way for 4, as the aforementioned Pillai gave chase, but wasn't fast enough. And that vacant outfield with the power play, all sorts of places to hit the ball to, and Ryan Scott is oh so good at picking out those spots. And it runs away for 4, and they are in double digits in the third over, halfway through it. Philadelphians with a victory. Right now they're currently tied with the Cavaliers with 6 points, a record of 3-1. And they will have next week off before finishing out their schedule in 2 weeks with 3 games in a row. Scott goes the other way this time, and the fielder can't get that one, and that goes all the way into the crowd for another 4. And he has back-to-back boundaries. And this time he went the other way as the ball was headed towards that 4th stump line. And right by the diving Mario Laban. 2 balls still to come, and this is better from Ryan Scott. Boarded run up by Parikh. To the Philadelphians, as we said, they'll be off next week, and they'll have 3 in a row in 2 weeks' time when we're back here in Mercer Park. Scott, I think that one came up a little bit higher than he was expecting to, and he had to fence that one away. Good comeback by Parikh. Mario Laban, pace bowler, is looming. He's an intimidating pace bowler. And Scott buzzes this one along the ground, and that one's going to go for his 3rd boundary of the over. And they get 13 off of that in the end. 12 thanks to that man, Ryan Scott. At the end of 3 complete, the Philadelphians are 19 without loss. And there it is once again with authority through the infield and taking advantage of that power play as best he can. 19 without loss after 3 for Philly. Christopher Van Tull will stand in now. Again, 74 not out, carrying his bat. And this one is chipped up in the air. If it was in the outfield, present, he probably would have had a chance, but there wasn't. And instead, it's his first boundary of the afternoon. Raval continuing from the Enberg Road end, and Van Tull with a chip shot 4. Oh, good ball. Good comeback by Keshav Raval. Wind picking up here again. This one is in the air. A fielder is scurrying over. He makes the catch. And Van Tull hit the ball without any sort of really power or authority. He may have gotten under it a little bit. And Raval picks up his first wicket. Christopher Van Tull couldn't really get his eye in. And on his 10th delivery, he is dismissed for 4. And the Philadelphians 23 for 1 in the 4th. Took some of the pace off of this one and got it to hang up, and having to come all the way around was Alex Algu, who did very well in these tricky conditions. 25-mile-per-hour gusts, and he tracked it all the way to his left. And Van Tull, after not really making an impact yesterday, can't even get out of double digits. Out of single digits. And so, Taha Weirich will come in, looking to atone for a duck yesterday. Van Tull was 13 off of 20 yesterday. And Weirich dismissed for a golden duck by Manu Acharya, who didn't play today for the Yorkers in that comprehensive victory against by the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. But here is Weirich, who was looking, as we said, him and Balaji came in at 3 and 4 yesterday, and neither one troubled the scorers. The Philadelphians it's been feast or famine with them, as they had 145 against the Cavaliers. They chased that down. I think overall their run rate, I think their strike rate has to be a little bit better overall. Weirich watches the first one sail by. Umpires for this one are Colin Edwards and Mihir Patel. You see Colin Edwards in your screen. And Raval getting set for his 5th ball of this over. And Weirich has to go down to try and defend. Spins away from him. Good ball by Raval, who's come back after the 4. 3 dot balls and a wicket. Getting out Christopher Van Tull. Again, Weirich trying to play that one off the pads, but again, Raval with a very good delivery. He gives up just the 4, comes back and takes the wicket of Christopher Van Tull. At the end of 4, the Philadelphians, having won the toss and elected the bat, they're 23 for 1.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So 5th over about to start. And now we see the angular figure of Mario Laban, who will bowl from the dog park end. And I'll tell you what, I've never stood at the crease against a figure like this. And very talented. I've been very impressed with him in the one game I saw him against the Stallions on Monday. And we'll see how he did. He did take one wicket in the loss to the Stallions. 1 for 24, but he had 17 dot balls. Now, actually, he did take one wicket. There was an issue we were having with the scoring system, and because if you look at it, it says he bowled 4.5 overs, which not quite legal, but that's okay. Hi, friends. It's weird to turn around and look at it and see, oh, it's me. And yes, the beard is real, as here comes Mario Lebon into Ryan Scott. Scott plays that one off his pads. Thought about one. Now they're going to go for two, and they're going to do it easily. So Ryan Scott gets a couple. He goes to 19. And, you know, you want to get your two openers and get them to really put on a strong partnership. It's hard, you know, especially in the beginning when you've got a lot of pace to deal with. And we certainly saw that in the last game. In case you missed it, the Manhattan Yorkers taking on the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. And in the 6th over, they were 6 for 6. And it was all pace. That one is hit one back behind the wicket. They get one. It was a top edge. Oh, he's got away. Did he get back? No, he didn't. He did not. And Weirich thought there was a second run on. He went 3 steps down the wicket and was caught trying to take a cookie out of the cookie jar. And the second wicket has frankly been thrown away by Weirich, who will go for his second consecutive duck. And the Philadelphians now at 25 for 2. And Weirich not happy, and I don't blame him. Miscommunication. Don't know that there really was a second one on. There definitely was one. But Ryan Scott will get to 19, but he will have a new partner on the other side of the crease as Weirich run out. So Ryan Shunn and Kwame Patton Jr. will get credit for the run out. And the Philadelphians and Jonathan Fu are not mucking around. They're going right to Bhaskar Yadram. 67 not out yesterday in leading the Philadelphians to, I think, what you could characterize as a comeback victory against the Manhattan Yorkers when they were 11 for 3 in the 3rd over. And Yadram, who is known for his power, has batted 4 times and has only been out once. His average is 112 and his strike rate 114.29. He needs to steady this ship for Philly to have a chance. Lebon will come in. 3rd ball of the over. Fought away by Yaddy. And he's been, I think, so far in this first half of the season, I think he's been their best player. You probably say Fu has as well. It'd either be him because they've both done well with bat and ball. Fights this one away, but not far enough through the infield to score. Good job by Mario Lebon. The bowling, this has, I think, been the best bowling that the Titans have had. Well, of course, they were touched up for 159 off of 16 overs against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers in their opener. Game was played last Sunday actually. Fifth ball comes in. Dabbed again and again. Can't pierce the infield. And I don't blame Yadrum, I think, for being cautious, as we see one of the other Philadelphians getting ready. I mentioned in the first game, you know, it's strange to see a cricket ground in the U.S. kind of at a park, but it's even stranger to see cricket nets. That one was a bouncer, and he fights this away, does Yadrum. He'll take one and keep the strike. But a good over by Mario Laban, who induces a wicket and giving up just 4 runs. At the end of 5, the Philadelphians are wobbly, but they're hanging in there at 27 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So Raval will come in and continue from the Edinburgh Road end. 1 for 9 from his 2 overs. Having taken the wicket of Christopher Van Tull, and Bhaskar Yadrum and Ryan Scott. Again, 2 of the best statistical bowlers in minor league cricket. And Yadrum watches the first one sail by. Good ball by Raval. You mentioned they're both in the top 10 in sixes hit. So you know there's a lot of power. They just got to find it against this good spin attack. Ooh, it's trying to lift him. Oh, he is bowling so well. You mentioned he took a wicket against the Stallions on Monday. Cut away by Bhaskar Yadrum. Got by the fielder. This is going to be close. No, it isn't, as Scott gets back. Gets in. They take a run. And that was thought about it and then came back as you peer inside the Philadelphians tent. It is a little bit on the muggy side now. It is 79, which was the forecasted high today. But that wind, and as we said, we're expecting probably in about an hour maybe or so for the weather to change. And we said, if you've not watched cricket before, 5 overs a side would constitute an official match. Fourth ball of the over. Oh, no, well, hit, but he's going back. He's going to watch that one sail into the tents. It's a 6 for Ryan Scott. There's the Ryan Scott we know and love as he takes Raval downtown for a maximum. Was watching the outfielder, and it looked like he had a beat on it, and the wind, I think it would have blown it across and not out and over, but Scott gets his first and the first 6 of the day. That's number 81 in minor league cricket for Scotty. And he plays this one in off his chest, and the no run available. But that's the power, and it's been a while. He hasn't had a century since the 2 that he had in 2021. His top score of the 2 was 118. That was when he played for the Michigan Cricket Stars, who will be in action tonight in Texas against St. Louis. And that one is chopped behind the wicket, no run. Not a bad over, however, all in all for Raval. Besides the 6, he just gave up 1 after it. Power play over. After 6, the Philadelphians having elected to bat off the tosser, 34 for 2. Great to see the newer, younger fans of cricket in attendance here. The Philadelphians, of course, they always seem to draw well here. Not only in Mercer Park, but when they have played in Pennsylvania, which has been rare commodity lately. They only played 2 games last year, both on the same day, as LeBon will continue from the dog park end. Chopped into the ground by Bhaskar Yadram. Good ball to start things off by LeBon, who gave up 4 in his first over. This is the 5th game that's gone off between the teams. They've had 2 matches abandoned. It's the first time they've played in New Jersey. First game on August 15th of 2021, which, by the way, was the first game I attended. First Philadelphians match. On a day when Jonathan Fu got 90 for 45, that's the only victory by the Titans in this series between the teams. And that one is pulled to the onside. One bouncing over. Bhaskar Yadram joins the party with his first boundary of the afternoon. 38 for 2 now. And Bhaskar Yadram showing what a really, really valuable pickup he's been for the men in yellow and black. That one right up at his teeth, and he turned that one and pounced. And he said, if you're going to serve up that pie, I'm going to eat it for breakfast. Or lunch, I guess, at this point, because it is 2:30 in the afternoon local time. Here's Yadram again to face LeBon. A little bit lower, and this time he taps it onto the onside. Nope, thought there was a second. And he came up a quarter of the way down the crease. This is the 4, and yeah, that was it was a bouncer, all right. But Ryan Scott's seen so many of those in his career, and punched it away for his 4th 4. As you see the field shifting around for Scott. And they are putting as many players as they can on the edge. It looks like they're they're happy to concede more than 1 run. In fact, all the players, all 4 on the onside. If he hits one short to the onside, he could run for a minute. But he's going to send this one deep. There's a man there, and he's going to watch that sail over his head. Well, you can only stick so many men out there within the boundary, and Ryan Scott says, cool, I'm just going to hit it right over you. That's his 2nd maximum of the innings, and Scott goes on to 32 with his 2nd 6. And he has a big old smile. He loves it. He's such a good dude. And, he came to the Philadelphians last year when they lost Nilan Kumar, their captain in season 2. And he established himself as an opener. Scott has done the same. Got off his feet to play this one defensively. It's getting a little darker here in Mercer County. And it's windy. We haven't quite, it's not Judy Garland territory just yet. But gusts of wind, and then they go away. And we said we've been keeping an eye on the weather forecast. And we said sometime around 3:30, I think, was when we expected the rain to come. And Scott has to play that defensively, and LeBon comes back with 2 dots. But 11 runs off that 7th over, as you see the pewter gray skies hanging over West Windsor Township, New Jersey at the end of 7. The Philadelphians are 45 for 2. So Raval will come in to finish his maximum of 4 overs. One other game happening in minor league cricket right now out on the West Coast with our friend Joe Hickey behind the mic. The Silicon Valley Strikers taking on the East Bay Blazers in Santa Clara. The Strikers at the end of 4 are 15 for 1. Cut away by Yadram through the infield. They'll take 1. Asker wanted a second, but doesn't get one. And here's a guy who, if you are a cricket fan, you will know him very well. That's Ross Taylor, the former New Zealand international test player, a stand-up guy, and he's just watching some of the cricket here across the U.S. and perhaps seeing who may be the next amongst the next crop of superstars here in definitely not from Australia.
Canada.
Yeah, I'm the Canadian. Good ball, eh? Here's Raval looking in. Second ball of the over set to come in. Oh, that one is hit well. Don't bother looking for this one. That's another maximum off the bat of Ryan Scott. And he, too, may turn into Trogdor the Burninator. Watch out for your thatch roof cottages. Oh, that had some power behind it. And he has sent that one out. Almost scored a goal in the soccer goal there. Why not? He goes to 38. They said that the two of them needed to be a steadying force after they lost those 2 wickets. And you're just joining us, Van Tull, caught by Alex Algu for 4. And Weirich, perhaps a needless run out to go for a 3-ball duck. And that brings up the 50 in this 8th over. He goes again. But this time, there's a fielder. And Ryan Scott has to go. And he hit that one, I think, straight into the wind. And it stayed inside the oval. And Raval has his 2nd wicket. And he has taken care of both openers. He got Van Tull to hit out to Algu. And Algu gets his 2nd catch. Almost looked like the first one where he had to range over to his left, fight the sky and the wind to haul that one in. And the Philadelphians now 52 for 3. But Scott did what he had to. He goes on 38 from 21. 2 runs short of his season high. And that partnership between Scott and Yadram comes to an end at 26 runs. So a little bit better of a picture now for Philly. They're 138 is the projected score. And it will be Sivaram Sharma. listed on the scorecard here as Chowdhury. His second season with the Philadelphians. As the wind continues to blow, and as we said, it's getting a little bit darker. Now, if you're watching us on the MLC network and you're still learning the game, we'll explain how the weather comes into play after this delivery. Swarma plays a defensive stats here. An official game is constituted if both teams bat 5 overs or more. Now, if the game started with both teams set to bat 20 overs, and if rain comes and it delays it, wait for this ball. Again played at, and again missed. 1 ball to come in the 8th over. If the rain comes, and let's say the Philadelphians, while they're still batting, they say, "Oh, we're not going to bat 20 overs. We're going to reduce it to like 16 overs or 15 or something like that." Then the target will be revised for the NYC Titans. Bounces away, spins away. Raval comes back with 4 good balls after giving up the Ryan Scott wicket. He claims the wicket of Ryan Scott in that over. He finishes his day 2 for 23. At the end of 8 here from Mercer County Park, it's the Philadelphians 52 for 3. Oh, it's caught. It was Bhaskar Yadrum, and he has to go. That is a big, big wicket. And now the Philadelphians are wobbly and shaky and all of that stuff like that there. As he comes in and toes that one off into the gully region. And Katapali on his first ball sends away Bhaskar Yadrum for 8 off of 12, and the Philadelphians are 52 for 4. That is a huge wicket. We mentioned how steadying that Yadrum was. He was the hero yesterday, taking 67 or scoring 67 not out. But just not able to get a hold of that one, and Katapali picks up a huge, huge wicket. And the Titans, who are, as we said, looking for their first victory of this season after going 0-2. And now here's Jonathan Fu, and if they can get Fu out, Drysdale is pretty decent with the bat. Patem was out there at the end with Bhaskar Yadrum. And we'll remind you again, Jonathan Fu, 990 career runs in minor league cricket. And we've seen Fu play some very circus-like shots this season, and he watches that one go by. Fu's numbers this season, his first 2 games, 36 and 41. And he slaps this one down the ground and will get off the mark with a single. 53 for 4 halfway through the 9th over. 36, 41 not out, and then 4 and 7. That's 7 coming yesterday, and that 4 against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. 2 reverse shots. The first one worked, and the second one didn't as he holed out. Waits on it and watches that one sail by the off stump. Great over by Catapali. Fifth ball coming in. Full toss, a lot of spin put to that one. They'll take one. Thought about the second, and now they finally go, and they'll get back in plenty of time. And so Chowdhury gets off the mark with a couple. 55 for 4 with 1 ball coming. Jonathan Fu, the only player on this Philadelphians roster who's been with the team all 4 years. He's been their talisman. Cuts this one away. And he will retain the strike heading into the 9th over. And of course, remembering that 90 he had in a losing effort in the first matchup between the sides. At the end of 9, the Philadelphians are 56 for 4.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
It is getting windier and it is getting darker, and that's just the atmospheric conditions as Chowdhury is set to face Mario Laban. 9 overs complete. It'll be interesting to see with this weather coming in, and it is coming in. Now I I feel a little bit of moisture as this one is turned aside. They come through. Nope, they started to and then didn't. As we start to batten down the hashes. You can see the wind on the camera. We were just talking. Ross Taylor was just over here. We were saying the rain was going to come in half an hour, but I think it might be a little bit before that. And he has been bold. Chowdhury has to go. Mario Laban picks up a wicket. Makes a mess of the stumps. And Chowdhury gets just 3 runs. And now Philadelphia 56 for 5 in the 10th. And with the weather coming in, you have to wonder how that's going to change things. And if this game does go to its completion, as you can see now, some of the dust coming off of the wicket. I'll tell you what. We got tents going sideways. We got tents coming in. It is very intense scene. And meanwhile, we've got Ashish Vatam, who will come out at number 7. Now, the Duckworth-Lewis Stern formula does take into effect the number of wickets. The more wickets that the Titans can take here, it will affect, perhaps even lower the target vis-a-vis whatever the Philadelphians end up with. It is getting dark. I'll tell you what, if this was a test match, they'd be bringing out the light meters. I know that's a sensitive subject to those of you following the England-Sri Lanka match. All the talk about that yesterday, and it's getting colder. And that one skips aside. I'm curious at what point. I mean, the rain is going to be the big factor, but I'm curious at what point, if they decide that it's too windy. I've heard of instances where the bails have blown off, and that's changed it. As you can see, the fans to our right, they are getting ready to. They're doing the same thing as well. Coming forward is Vatem. They'll take a single. Vatem will get off the mark. Or never mind, they did end up going back. There's the top of the sight screen on the Edinburgh Road side. Both of them blew over on Monday, and one of them actually took out that tripod. Yeah, it has gotten colder. The temperature says 79 degrees. It doesn't feel like 79 anymore. And you saw Kwame Patton Jr. as this one is steered aside, and LeBon is one ball away from a wicket maiden. You saw him making that, like, kind of cutoff gesture. I think, yeah, they're going home. And the fans, the super fans to our right, I can't see them now just because of the way our tent is positioned, but they didn't bother bringing the tent because they knew it was going to get wet. Whether I think Kwame Patton is probably saying we're getting to the point where we might have to think about pausing things. Well, we're going to get to the halfway point, as this one is deflected to third man, and Vatem now gets off the mark, spoiling the wicket maiden bid by Mario LeBon. That's the only run he gives up. At the end of 10 from blustery Mercer Park, it's 57 for 5. So 11th over about to get underway, and the rain is starting to come. And Vatem, who retains the strike, goes after that one. And a dot ball by Pillai, who comes in for the first time. We can confirm there are drops of rain outside as Vatem tries to cut this one to the offside. Might be the wildest weather I've commentated just about anything, and I also do Aussie Rules football. We've played in any sort of weather with that, as that one is tipped into the gully. There's no run. I lie. There was a downpour in Denver a couple of years ago that we took everything down, and I was completely blind to the game, and there was a lot of stuff happening. I didn't see. In fact, I had to come out and kind of ask what the score was, as this one is played behind again by Vatem. Four dot balls by Pillai in this over. We are just rearranging everything. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes as this one comes forward. Vatem again defends, and Pillai now on the precipice of a maiden. Last ball of the over, and that one is cut to the offside. Just like what happened to Mario LeBon, the maiden is spoiled by a single, this time by Vatem, who goes to 2, and he'll keep the strike as we head into the 12th. At the end of 11, Philadelphia is 58 for 5. that's what we're looking at. Very heavy clouds as Parikh comes back into the attack, and Vatem just got a piece of it, but can't get a run. Still 58 for 5. And the question, of course, will be, if we go into a delay, how long will it be? And how many overs will we lose? And if it's too long, will we be able to finish this game? Now, my understanding, because we've seen situations where games have been postponed because of weather, and they have made them up, which is a little bit different than what you would see in, say, the professional ranks where they just call off the game. But I imagine because the game has started, both teams are assured of 1 point. If that happens, then that one is just put down by Laban. It was just put down, or did he get it? No, he did get it, I think. They came over. Well, no, hang on. They came over. They were coming over and congratulating him. I think he did just put it down, but everybody just came over to kind of give him a high five and say, good effort, and that was very close. So Vatem stays alive. Parikh comes in again, and that one is dipped right behind, and that's going to run all the way to the boundary for 4. So Vatem gets his first boundary, and Parikh, who had been bowling pretty solidly, gives up a 4 at 62 for 5. I'll tell you what, they're having a party behind us with all sorts of music, and whatever weather is blowing in, it isn't dampening their spirits. As you can see, the Philadelphians have dismantled their tent. Big shout on an LBW appeal as Vatem tried to defend. No run. Here it is. They see that they've dismantled their tent. Everybody's standing outside it and probably getting set to get away. This tent almost blew away. Woo! I think they heard me. Oops. Sorry, folks. As he backs out, Ryan Scott backs out. The monitor is blown away. Can't tell. We're just trying to see. The sun's trying to poke out here. There's that wall. There's that system that's coming in. We've been keeping an eye on it all day. It looks like at the very least there's going to be one set of showers come through, and then after that, who knows? As Vatem turns this one around, comes down about 3 steps and changes his mind. So the situation will be, again, how long of a rain delay it is, and when it's done, how long of a delay will it be? What will the rain situation be like after the shower passes, and what condition the field is in? Turns this one off the hips, but once again, not past the infield. And meanwhile, Parikh gets through with just that 4, and frankly, that wasn't a bad ball either. At the end of 12, the Philadelphians, believe it or not, the sun is coming out, but not for them. It's 62 for 5.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Thirteenth over about to start. And I think they're coming off the field. I just see, well, hang on. Sorry, we're just, oh, there was, sorry, they had the fielders right, they had a car right behind us that had the lights on. Sorry about that. It's a little chaotic over here, so if it sounds chaotic, it's because it is, and of course we beg your indulgence here at Mercer County Park. as we play on in these very, very trying conditions for all and sundry as Fu steers this one aside. The Philadelphians, by the way, as you can see, hitting at a rate of 5 and over. And I think that's kind of why they wanted to bat first. They knew the conditions were going to deteriorate. And you don't know what condition the field is going to be in, what field condition the pitch is going to be in. As he steers this one away, does Jonathan Fu. And they come through for a single. Fu now 8 runs away from 1,000 in his minor league cricket career, which seems very just kind of random to say when you've got 25-mile-an-hour winds and the temperature, which I swear has dropped by about 15 degrees at least. Cuts this one away, and that one goes all the way down through third man for 4. So Vatem gets to double digits. And boy, he'll have a story to tell in terms of in what conditions he's done it. 10 off of 17, 67 for 5. Again, officially, based on the information we're looking at, probably another 20 minutes before the rain for real gets here. We can start to feel it a little bit. Full toss. There's a catch opportunity, and he's got it. Oh, he had a full toss, but didn't get all of it. And the 6th wicket goes down. Vatem got to 10, and it is the man in Raval who has taken 2 wickets and made a nice catch in the deep to dismiss Ashish Vatem for 10. And the Philadelphians continue to struggle against the Titans bowling attack. They're 67 for 6. Well, that is a very tricky catch in these conditions. And Vatem hit the ball. He got a full toss from Pillai, and it was right on a line, and it was almost like one of those like humpback line drives that you see in the and it remains so 67 for 5, and now it's Devashwari Prasad who comes out. Are you sure? So we've all had to do a little bit of shifting here, as this is Pillai who comes into Prashad, and he dabs it through. So is given as a wide, so 68 for 6. Up. Thank you. Comes in, and Prashad comes forward and just clips it to the offside. Good job by Pillai. He's now 1 for 7. Last ball of the over. Prashad dabs this one down, and he'll get a run off of this and keep the strike and get off the mark in the process. So 13 overs complete, and the New York Titans, you'd have to say, are on top. The Philadelphians 69 for 6. So over number 14 about to get underway. The wind is picking up. Rain is on its way. And this has just been a very, very interesting last couple hours here. I'm Brian Barish, by the way. It's great to have your company no matter where you're joining us here on the MLC Network, as well as back in India, thanks to Fan Code. As Prashad pushes this one away. There is no run. Prashad, having faced 3 deliveries so far. This is Parikh in what is his last over, having given up 18 runs. Went for the cut shot. And you get a single out of it. So Rashad is now 70 for 6. And Jonathan Fu comes to the bat. Man from Guyana. Played with the Jamaica Tallywas. Dabs this one down. They'll move the line, the Congo line along. 71 for 6 now as Fu goes to 3. Now 993 in his minor league cricket career. And really, after the magic of those first 2 games, has struggled to kind of recapture it. Tries to go down the ground here, and that one will roll and be stopped in the deep. And the run for Devashwari Prashad, 72 for 6, 2 balls left in his 14th over. Check the schedule as well as things that are happening around the grounds here. There was one other game happening. That's in the Bay Area. A couple of games tonight as this one is played off the pads. And Jonathan Fu will score a run. Takes him to 4, 73 for 6. And good bowling by Parikh, who has calmed down. He's had his share of wildness with a couple of wides, but none for 22. A little bit more economical, a little bit more consistent in this match than when we saw him on Monday. Sails by as Prashad offers a half-hearted effort at it. 14 overs in the books. The Philadelphians are 73 for 6. We press on here in Mercer County Park. Weather getting, it's been windy. It's been like this, I would say, for at least the last half an hour. That was a full toss by Katapali, who has a wicket so far. In fact, it was Bhaskar Yadram, the first ball that he delivered to Bhaskar. Fu tries to cut this one away. He has cut it with some distance, and it has gone all the way. And Jonathan Fu not only has brought up double digits, but he has brought up his 1,000th run in minor league cricket. All of them with the yellow and black of the Philadelphians. And that is textbook Jonathan Fu picking out a low toss and driving that over the boundary. And it really means a lot, not just for him, but, you know, the sort of player he is, the sort of guy he is in terms of what he's done for this franchise and for cricket in Philadelphia during that time. Comes back, does Katapali on the inside, and This one is dabbed down. The Philadelphians will tell you, because they're back in action tomorrow. Another full toss, and this one is hit well, and this one is hit deep. And I think it was stopped there, and they did end up getting a run. Got a limited view here, so if I missed something, we apologize. They come in again, and this time it's Prashad. They did take a run off of that. Prashad steers that, but is unable to take a run. The Philadelphians are back in action tomorrow against the New Jersey Stallions. The Titans will play tomorrow against the Manhattan Yorkers. As Prashad stabs at that one, and it's a dot ball. That's the end of the 15th. From Mercer County Park, it's the Philadelphians 80 for 6 after 15.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Let's take a quick look around the grounds at action happening in minor league cricket today. The one game from earlier saw the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers with a comprehensive victory over the Manhattan Yorkers by 97 runs. And the game, I don't think, was even that close. The Yorkers at one point in the 6th over were 6 for 6. The tail really kind of made the game more respectable. Yash Kengura 28 not out. And they were able to fight back and at least make it a 97-run game. One game happening, well, the first game happening at, I'm sorry, let's try that again. There was one game happening at Moosa in Houston as Ryan Shunn is coming into the attack for the first time for New York. And that's going to be a wide behind Jonathan Fu. There were 2 games in Texas today. Lone Star Athletics and the Houston Hurricanes has been postponed because of the weather. The Silicon Valley Strikers taking on the East Bay Blazers. That game's in Santa Clara. The Strikers are 66 for 5 as this one is played at by Fu, but no run. The Strikers, they're batting in the 12th. They are 66 for 5. Anthony Bramble, the former New Jersey Stallion, 41 for the Strikers. And then, of course, we have this game happening, and then 2 games tonight, one at Church Street Park between Baltimore and Fort Lauderdale. This one is steered to the offside by Jonathan Fu, who goes to 12. Rashad comes back to strike. 4 balls left in the 16th over, 82 for 6 now. The other game is happening in Texas, and that's happening at Grand Prairie at the stadium there, between 2 teams from up north, the St. Louis Americans and the Michigan Cricket Stars. Tap back to Shunn. He shows his soccer skills to keep it in front of him. 3 balls to come. The Cricket Stars playing their first game of the season. The Americans losing yesterday to the Dallas Exploria Giants. Tomorrow, as we mentioned, the Philadelphians will play the New Jersey Stallions. As Prashad goes golfing. And he has hit that a long way, and he's hit that all the way for 6. First 6 for Devashwari Prashad. And that's first in some time. Philly goes to 88 for 6. Good job by Devashwari Prashad. He's a guy who has been known to hit the ball a fair bit. Perhaps not as prolific, but when you come in at number 8, you have a little bit more freedom. Although Philadelphia trying to get to the 100. We'll be in action tomorrow. 1 of 2 games here. Lenny Achaibar and Matthew Achaibar will bring all the action to you. That one is smack deep. Did he get all of this one? I think he did. He absolutely did. Back-to-back jacks for Devashwari Prasad. And he goes on now to 15 off of 11. And Philadelphia now 94 for 6. I never really noticed a whole lot again because with the new setup we have here, or at least the temporary setup, but the sight screen on the dog park end just directly to our right has come down in the wind. Can't speak about the other one, as this one is cut away by Prasad, but this one will be fielded. They'll take one. They're going to look for a second, and they're going to get back easily. Devashwari Prasad does a fantastic job taking 2 more runs. 18 runs off that over or rather 16 runs off that over. Philadelphia, they needed that one. At the end of 16, they're 96 for 6 as we head into the death overs. Kattapalli will come in now for his 3rd over of work. He's 1 for 11. Philadelphians looking to try and get the triple digits at the very least. The first ball just left alone by Jonathan Fu. Good ball from Kattapalli. We reckon that the rain is coming in the next maybe 5 or 10 minutes. At least according to the information we are looking at. Big looping ball by Fu, and he hammers this one to the onside. They'll take one. Fielder finally comes around and manages to keep it to 1. Good fielding there as Fu looked convinced that he was going to be able to get 2 out of it, but just the single. 97 for 6. Fu goes to 13. Prasad waits on this one and drives it, and that will bounce all the way for 4, and that brings up the 100. They would have liked for it to have come a little bit sooner, but in these conditions, they'll take it. As Devashwari Prasad goes to 21 from 11. Three balls remaining in the 17th over. That one is steered aside by Prasad to the offside. They'll take another. 22 now. 102 for 6 for the Philadelphians. And again, we'll picking 2 balls left. We'll, I guess, explain it in the next over. I guess once again we've been talking about the Duckworth-Lewis as Fu goes down. Did he get enough of this one? Yup, he absolutely did. That one is carted down the ground by Jonathan Fu, and he goes on to 19 off of 15 now. And now this partnership starting to churn a little bit more. They go to 108 for 6. That's what Jonathan Fu can do. And this time he tried to cut it away, but right into the hands of Kwame Patton Jr. Those two will have known each other for a long time in this circle. At the end of 17 here at Mercer County Park, it's Philadelphia 108 for 6. So 3 overs to go in this Philadelphians over, and I just want to shout out our production staff led on site here by Mohsen and Umir Khan, who are doing an amazing job in what is exceedingly difficult circumstances. This is not Raval, who is bowling, as that one just ducks under the outstretched bat of Devashwari Prasad. Well, they're going to have to go back and fix that, because that is not Raval, who bowled his 4th over back in the 7th. And I have packed away the scoring sheet, so I'm remiss to tell you who this is. Flayed away by Prasad. But that is not Raval. Keshav Raval. I'm just trying to see who that. This is somebody who hasn't bowled yet. That I know. But yeah, Umar and Mo are out here doing an amazing job, like we said, with the conditions turning the way that they are, as this one is struck down the ground, driven even by Devashwari Prasad. And that's 2 more, or 1 more to the total. Prasad goes to 23, Fu on 19 off of 16. Wind whips up once again, and I think the rain is starting to come down. We can kind of hear it on the tent. That one is given as a wide, so they go to 110 now. We said the rain, I think the strongest part is going to start setting in the next couple of minutes, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last over before we go off. Three balls left in this over, meanwhile. Fu tried to give himself some room, and he stepped away from the ball. It's going to be given as a wide anyway, so 2nd in a row. It's gotten cold again. The cold wind blowing. It's officially at 12 miles an hour with gusts at 23. Again, except this time it's pulled or cut away. No, it was pulled away, and it's going to be pulled away by four by Jonathan Fu. And Fu now goes to 23, and he's had a very steadying innings. He reached out. He was pretending he was like Bell Atlantic. Reach out and touch. Let's reach out and touch someone. And it's 4 more. And the temperature has dropped 6 degrees. It was 79, and now it's down to 73. And I didn't bring my coat. So if it sounds like I'm cold, I am. I'll tell you what, like I said, my main sport is Australian rules football. This is definitely footy weather. And I know my old team, the Philadelphia Hawks, actually were playing this morning out in Oaks, Pennsylvania against the Baltimore Dockers today, as Fu went to give himself some room and swung and missed, and Kwame Patton Jr. rolled the ball back in the hope of a stumping attempt. One ball left in the 18th over. Wind and the rain. Right now the rain is steady, and I'm going back to what I can hear from the tent here. He hits this one deep. He hits this one long. Does it have the distance? It doesn't, but it will drop safely in front of Mario Laban. I believe they will have taken a run off of this, and they have. 8 ball over. They get 8 off of it at the end of 18 with 12 balls to come. The Philadelphians are 116 for 6. And you can see the sky there. It's 116 for 6. Looks like Mario Laban Jr., or Mario Laban, beg your pardon, is going to come in and bowl this 19th over. Devashwari Prashad. Umpire Mihir Patel says, hang on a minute, hang on a minute. And here's the first ball. And that one is dabbed now off the pads by Dev Prashad. Laban bowling his fourth and final over. 1 for 16. See now Jonathan Fu standing in. Fu with a big swing, no contact. They have gone with 7 different bowlers, have the Titans, and again, that's something that relatively common in minor league cricket. See teams reach out to 8 sometimes. And this one is cut away, and cut away through mid-wicket, and all the way for another 4 off the bat of Jonathan Fu. So Fu now goes to 28, and he is wielding the willow. That is his second 4 to go along with 2 6s, 28 off of 22. That has helped recover things a little bit. The Philadelphians, you know, they were really kind of sunk a little bit at one point. It looked like they were going at it like, you know, maybe about 4 runs and over, 5 runs and over, but now they're going at more than a run a ball. As Laban comes in once again. And again, it's cut away, and this time a fielder is out there. Another run, 121 for 6. 2 balls left in the over, 8 in the innings. And it looks like, unless it all of a sudden starts bucketing down, they'll at least get the Philadelphians section of the innings done. And then the question will be, after we get through the change and whatnot, what the Titans innings will look like. Big swing, and that has gotten behind Kwame Patton Jr. And those will be given as a bye. So it'll be bring Fu on strike. It won't advance Prashad's score anymore. 122 for 6. 7 balls left in the innings, 1 in this over. And when we talk about the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern formula, and the number of wickets will come into play as well. Fu gets his bat to it, and Patton makes a good stop behind the wicket. 6 more to the total. 6 balls left. Well, hang on. That was given as a wide. Timeout. Mihir Patel made the signal very stealthily. I didn't see it. So 123 for 6. Now the last ball of the over comes in. And just flayed away. And they'll try to get Prashad on the other side, but it is a 30th run for Jonathan Fu. And that ends the 19th over. 1 over to come. The Philadelphians 124 for 6.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
The 20th and final over of these Philadelphians innings about to commence. And I think, considering the fact that a lot of their big boppers didn't get started, you know, Bhaskar Yadram caught by Zope off of Katapali for 8. Christopher Van Tull going very early for 4. Taha Wairich got a second consecutive duck after he was run out. As well as Sivaram Sharma Chowdhury with 3. Ryan Scott, 38 right now. He's the top scorer. Jonathan Fu on 30 not out. I'll be interested to see, especially in these conditions. It's been blustery for the better part of this Philadelphians innings. And it'll be interesting to see. This is not Keshav Raval, because he's already bowled his 4, and whoever they thought it was has already bowled. So we'll go back and update that. But Raval has taken 2 wickets. I can tell you that. I'm sure they'll go back and fix it, especially if we have a delay here. But the bowler comes in to Jonathan Fu. Cut away, and he hit that, chopped that back, almost chopped it down onto his stumps, but it hopped over. 4 balls left, and I started to say it's interesting to see how Jonathan Fu plays this. If he decides to play it a little bit more freely and a little bit more, just will-o'-the-wisp. And he drives this one down the ground. 2 fielders are there. One of them comes around, and the throw comes in a little high, but Fu will take a second. That takes him to 32. So Fu and Prashad, I think, really have done very well after Vitem was dismissed, and the Philadelphians looked in all sorts of trouble at 67 for 6 in the 13th. These two have put on 59 more runs. Another drive by Jonathan Fu. And another 4. That takes him to 130. 2 balls remaining. Jonathan Fu has had this has to be a captain's knock, especially when you consider, again, where they were. They didn't really look comfortable out there today against the New York Titans bowling attack. And Fu came in, and, he's been prone the last couple of times we said he hasn't gotten out of single digits. That is a full toss. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes back as a no ball, but that has gone all the way and out into the shrubbery. It's gone for 4. And it has been given as a no ball on height. So that is 5 no ball. And still 2 balls left. And we have a free hit upcoming. Jonathan Fu is now on 40. As the wind is blowing a little bit harder, I don't hear any precipitation coming down, so that's a good sign. And they're the one bad part about this is now they have to go and see if they can fetch the ball, and we see umpire Samuels making a signal there. I don't know if he's trying to I think he's trying to see if whether or not they've gotten it. Well, as he say, the things have become a little hectic here. Now we do start to hear a little bit of rain on the roof, and I think for the Philadelphians' sake, it would be good. They want to get this innings completed and done. And the rain is coming, and we don't know, again, we don't know what kind of impact it's going to have. I expect there's going to be some sort of delay, but we'll see. This is a free hit for Jonathan Fu with 2 balls to go in the Philadelphians' innings. Swings this at a wide ball. It's up in the air. It's going to be caught, but it won't go as a wicket. That was a wide ball. They still come through for a run. Again, because it was a free hit, that the only way they could have gotten out is on a run out. And so the catch means nothing, but at the very least, well, I shouldn't say it doesn't mean, it means nothing. It means that the ball was fielded, but they were running all the way. So here's the final ball of the Philadelphia's innings, and Devashwari for Prashad will face. thought about going this with the reverse sweep. Instead, he carves it away, and that will run all the way to the boundary for 4. And Devashwari Prasad puts an exclamation mark on an innings that looked very, very dark and gloomy, just like the skies over Mercer County Park. But a great recovery, a 73-run partnership at the end, brings the final tally to 140 for 6 for the Philadelphians. Jonathan Fu, 41. Devashwari Prasad on 27, both not out. And so the target for now is 141, and of course that is subject to change depending on what happens with the rain. And I imagine, as we just take a peek under here, they haven't started to move the covers just yet, but just kind of keeping an eye, as you can see the rain now starting to come down perhaps a little bit heavier. And looking at the app, it looks like they keep pushing it back. It looks like it's only going to rain. This shower is probably only going to last about half an hour, and rain is coming by. So a very quick look at the score sheet for the Philadelphians, as Ryan Scott had 38. He was the top scorer until Jonathan Fu came through at the end with 41. And Fu and Prasad saving the innings again with a 73-run partnership. Ryan Scott was out early. Van Tull couldn't get going, got out for 4. Weirich run out for a 3-ball duck. Yadram didn't get going as Katapali dismissed him on his first ball for 8. Chowdhury went off, was clean bowled by Mario Laban for 3. Vatem looked like he was going to go for a minute and got with 10. And here is the bowling. Good bowling numbers. Now, Keshav Raval will tell you got those 2 wickets. He did not bowl 6 overs. We'll try and get who bowled those last 2 overs for you, but those numbers a little skewed. But you can see the fall of wickets there. A wicket each for Laban, Katipali, Siddhant Pillai as well with 1. So the New York City Titans, their target for now is 141. We'll keep an eye on the weather for you as well, and hopefully we will get 20 more overs in on the other side of this break as the NYC Titans try and pinch their first victory of the season. We'll return to a wet and wild Mercer County Park. You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies here on the MLC Network. Makes some room and smacks this one over mid-wicket. And it's through for a 4. Scott with a line drive, humpback liner that'll get by the fielder and go all the way for 4. Scott buzzes this one along the ground, and that one's going to go for his 3rd boundary. And this one is chipped up in the air. If it was in the outfield present, he probably would have had a chance, but there wasn't. And instead, it's his first boundary of. This one is in the air. A fielder is scurrying over. He makes the catch. That one is hit one back behind the wicket. They get 1. It was a top edge. Oh, he's got away. Did he get back? No, he didn't. He did not. And Weirich thought there was a second run on. He went 3 steps down the wicket and was caught trying to take a cookie out of the cookie jar. 4th ball of the over. Oh, no, well, hit, but he's going back. He's going to watch that one sail into the tents. It's a 6. And that one is pulled to the onside. One bouncing over. Bhaskar Yadram joins the party with his first boundary of the afternoon. But he's going to send this one deep. There's a man there, and he's going to watch that sail over his head. Well, you can only stick so many men out there. Come in. Oh, that one is hit well. Don't bother looking for this one. That's another maximum off the bat of Ryan Scott. In the 8th over. He goes again. But this time, there's a fielder, and Ryan Scott has to go Oh, it's caught. It was Bhaskar Yadrum. He's going to come in half an hour, but I think it might be a little bit before that. And he has been bold. Chowdhury has to go. Mario Laban picks up a wicket. Makes a mess of comes in again. And that one is dipped right behind, and that's going to run all the way to the boundary for 4. So Vatem gets his first boundary. Cuts this one away. And that one goes all the way down through third man for 4. So that feel it a little bit. Full toss. There's a catch opportunity, and he's got it. Oh, he had a full toss, but didn't get all of it. And the 6th wicket goes down. Vatem, he delivered to Bhaskar. Fu tries to cut this one away. He has cut it with some distance. And it has gone all the way. And Jersey Stallions, as Prashad goes golfing. And he has hit that a long way, and he's hit that all the way for 6. To you? That one is smack deep. Did he get all of this one? I think he did. He absolutely did. Back-to-back jacks for Devashwari Prashad. Prashad waits on this one and drives it. And that will bounce all the way for 4, and that brings up the 100. I guess explain it in the next over. I guess once again we've been talking about the Duckworth-Lewis as Fu goes down. Did he get enough of this one? Yup, he absolutely did. And again, except this time it's pulled or cut away. No, it was pulled away, and it's going to be pulled away by 4 by Jonathan Fu. And this one is cut away. And cut away through mid-wicket and all the way for another 4 off the bat of Jonathan Fu. Another drive by Jonathan Fu. He said he hasn't gotten out of single digits. That is a full toss. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes back as a no ball, but that has gone all the way. And swings this at a wide ball. It's up in the air. It's going to be caught, but it won't go as a wicket. Ace. Thought about going this with the reverse sweep. Instead, he carves it away, and that will run all the way to the boundary for 4.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
तो हमने अपनी नेल्स लगाई हुई सारी।
Back here for the run chase, the Philadelphians set a target of 141 for the NYC Titans to chase down. And we are underway here in the second innings. Alex Algu is out there alongside Ryan Shunn. And it is Dwight Drysdale making his 2024 debut. Christopher Van Tull just did. You kind of saw a little bit of it. He caught it and flipped it all the way behind him to Ryan Scott, who's back there. I believe that's Ryan Scott. And it was given as a wide. First one was given as a wide. So we are back. The wind has calmed down for now, and what we thought was coming through was going to be a bit heavier than it was nothing more than some sprinkles. As Drysdale, that one got by almost everybody, and that I don't know if that caught the top of the bat or not, but it popped up in the air. It went off of Van Tull's hands and popped all the way behind, so no run. Now the wind begins to pick up a little bit more. As you see, Drysdale was a key man in the division championship for the Philadelphians in 2023. And that one gets hammered into the ground, and appealing for a wide there was Ryan Shunn, but that goes on through to the keeper. No run. The Titans still one without loss here. The Philadelphians looking for their fourth win of the season. They're the first team in minor league cricket to play 5 games. They'll have the week off next week before finishing out with 3 games in 3 days. And it's kind of how the schedule is here in minor league cricket in 2024. As that one bounces up high, Van Tull is able to stop it. 2 more to come. Brian Barish here with you. Glad to have you along on what has been a very interesting day weather-wise, but also on the field as well. We had our first game this morning where the Manhattan Yorkers almost went into the history books for reasons that they wouldn't want to. They recovered from being 6 for 6. Drysdale sees this one get cut away by Algu, and those are his first runs. A superiorly shot 4 through the offside, and Algu is off the mark. Again, a bouncer, and again flirting with the tram lines, and Algu decides to just roll with it, baby, as Steve Winwood used to say. Final ball of the over coming up. And again, if you're just joining us, the Philadelphians were in all sorts of trouble, it seemed like, at 67 for 6 before coming back. Another bouncer. This was a swing, and it gets by him, and it gets by Van Tull. It is stopped in the deep. It will be a bye. And that ends the over. So Drysdale, not terrible bowling from him. Gives up a wide and a bye and a 4. Chasing 141 after the first. The Titans are 6 without loss. Now enters Bhaskar Yadram, 4 for 5 on debut for the Philadelphians last Saturday. And has been, as we said, maybe in deference to Jonathan Fu, the best player. Him and Jonathan Fu have been the two best so far as he changes his mind on the run-up. And Yadram yesterday with the ball, in addition to 67 not out, giving his team the victory. Didn't get a wicket, none for 17. And this one gets dabbed down to the onside by Ryan Shunn. Or check that by Alex Algu. And he goes on to 5. Wearing number 182, so I'm wondering if he is the fan of a certain band, and in fact that has been given as a no ball, as I believe Algu has, or rather Yadram may have overstepped. So a free hit upcoming now for Ryan Shunn, who made his debut in the opening match against the New Jersey Stallions and got 14 off of 24 before being dismissed by Siddharth Matani on Monday. So here comes the free hit. It's Yadram to Shunn. And he opens up and blasts this one deep and gone for 6. Over the head of Sivaram Sharma, and Ryan Shunn collects his first 6 in minor league cricket. And he got all of that one and connected it deep and halfway out to Edinburgh Road. So not a great start by Bhaskar Yadram. But still plenty of time. We've seen plenty of instances where they've given up a 6. So far, he has 7 wickets in this season. That one bounces up and away. And a good comeback ball as Shunn flays at that one. The Titans, we said, coming into this game at 0-2. The New England Eagles also 0-2, so they would like to step off from there. And, of course, the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, thanks to that big victory, they're now in a tie with first place on points with the Philadelphians. They'd love to see Philly lose, as this one is cut away over the drawn-in infield, and that's going to roll away through the wet outfield for 4. Ryan Shunn with his second boundary. A 4 to go with the 6 he had. It's 18 without loss. Yadram again hammering the ball into the ground, and this one cut away. And Ryan Shunn, who has played, and we mentioned a couple of places where he played. He played with the Guyana under-19s. Played in a game about 11 years ago with Guyana against Bangladesh. There's another Guyanese player, it's Jonathan Fu, talking with umpire Colin Edwards. 3 balls to come. And Titans off to a titanic start here. Yeah, in the good way and not in the, doomed 1912 ocean liner way. Defended and down to the offside, fielded by Jonathan Fu. So it's been a back and forth over for Bhaskar Yadram. A 2-0 ball, then gave up a 6, then a dot, then a 4, now another dot. And Yadram with the ball, 47 wickets in this his 48th game in minor league cricket. That one turned around to the leg side, and it's going to be fielded, and that will leave one ball left in this over. Good job there by the fielder. You see Ryan Scott, Christopher Van Tull, a couple of really good defensive players. A lot of good defensive players. The one thing the Philadelphians have, by and large, over the last couple of seasons, they've been good defensively. They've stopped a lot of plays in the field. They've made some spectacular catches. And this one is cut away and cut through the infield. And that one will have the legs and skitter over the rope like a cockroach on the bathroom floor. Another 4 for Ryan Shunn, who gets 14 runs out of the 16 that the Titans score in this over. And NYC, in search of their first win, are off to a great start. At the end of 2, chasing 141, they're 22 without loss. Drysdale will continue from the dog park end. And Drysdale, as we said, the first time we've seen him coming in for Yashant Balaji. This one is turned around by Alex Algu. He'll take a run. They think about a second, but change their mind. Drysdale, part of the great attack that they had last year. 27th match. And in all the innings so far, he has a total of 28 wickets. His best in 2022 when he had 4 for 31. Took 4 wickets during the regular season in 4 matches. Took 2 in the Super 8s. On a performance of 2 for 26. See them work on that. 32-year-old One-Eye Drysdale, who also just finished season with the San Francisco Unicorns of Major League Cricket. Has taken 3 wickets for them as well. A team that went all the way to the semifinals. And a good ball against Ryan Shunn. Forced him to have to tried to jam him there. In 4 matches, his best was 2 for 33. 3 wickets, an econ rate of 10.5, a team that included his teammate here in Philadelphia and mentor in Liam Plunkett. And that one is just tipped into the ground by Shunn, who was trying to drive it down the ground. Good ball again by Drysdale. Gave up 5 in his first over. Major League Cricket's second season. And one of the things that we've seen, and we know that minor league cricket getting into the local markets, but we're starting to see Major League Cricket start to do the same. And it was cool actually seeing a couple of the players, fans who have never watched cricket before and really get around their teams. And hopefully, as the years go on, Major League Cricket grows. They start playing some games in their home markets. We'll see more of that as this one is chopped away. It's going to be awfully close as trying to get Algu. It was a wild throw, but it was backed up nicely. So Shunn goes to 15. You see the asking rate, 675. And the Titans so far at 9 and over. And, it's only an 8-game regular season. And, the Titans don't want to lose too much touch with what are currently the top three, the Philadelphians, the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, and the New Jersey Stallions. Oh, that one bounced in on him, and Drysdale just very quickly just checking in on Alex Algu, just saying, no hard feelings, mate. And just checking on him, making sure he's okay. That was one of the things. Drysdale has been bowling short, I've noticed. And really, both bowlers so far in these 3 overs, and Bhaskar Yadram was bowling short as well. And I guess it sounds like the idea is they're trying to force them to hit the ball in the air. There it is again, and this time he takes him deep. Way out of here for a 6 by Alex Algu. That's his first of the game, and it takes him to double digits. And Drysdale goes for 8 in the over. Once again, bowling short. They're going to need to probably choose another plan of attack. And Algu takes him downtown, and they are going along at 10 and over. At the end of 3, the Titans are 30 without loss. So as we return now for the 4th over, we take a quick look around the grounds at action happening in minor league cricket. Only one game happening right now other than this one. And the players are well, hang on. It looks like the players are coming off, or just for a moment they're just getting a change of hat and some refreshment. Sorry, there's been rain about, and I was like, what is happening? One game happening right now, the Silicon Valley Strikers taking on the East Bay Blazers out in Santa Clara. The Strikers were bowled out for 96. The Blazers are batting in the 3rd. They are 6 for 1. The top scorer was Anthony Bramble for the Strikers on 41. And a 5-fer for Abhishek Pradikar, 5 for 14 for the East Bay Blazers. In that Pacific Division, as you see Shun doing some gardening. The one earlier game in the Central Division between the Lone Star Athletics and Houston Hurricanes was called off because of a wet outfield as Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad comes in, and Shun cuts him away, but right to Sivaram Shwarma. So that game is postponed. I imagine they'll try and make that game up. Oh, good ball by A.J. Muhammad. As that one just slid away from Shun. He was trying to tonk him. 2 games tonight. The Baltimore Royals taking on the Fort Lauderdale Lions. That's at Church Street Park. That one is cut away into a vacant outfield because of the power play, and that runs all the way for 4. Another boundary for Ryan Shun. That's his 3rd. He goes to 19, and the Titans looking as comfortable as they have in the 3 games we've seen them. Again, trying the off spin, but again, Shun going with the grain of the ball. 34 without loss. The other game happening tonight at Grand Prairie, the Michigan Cricket Stars opening their season against the St. Louis Americans. Cut away once again, but this time there's a fielder. And down he goes, Ryan Shun. And it's Devashwari Prasad. That was an atom ball because it was right at him. And Shun has to go. Muhammad makes the breakthrough. Shun goes for 19 off of 12. 19 off of 13, and the NYC Titans are 34 for 1. Well, trying to cut away once again, and again going with the off spin, but right down his throat. And Prashad with a little flip celebration. 34 for 1. And perhaps a fight back upcoming now by the Philadelphians. So Muhammad, who bowled yesterday in that thrilling victory over the Manhattan Yorkers, took a wicket, 1 for 19 from 3 overs yesterday. And a man who is pretty well known here in Philadelphia. This is his 29th match. His 22nd wicket. Best bowling figures of 3 for 9. So he can get them in clumps. Santi Sama comes in now at number 3. The Titans are in decent shape right now, especially considering all the trouble that the Philadelphians had when they were up to bat. And that one is a little chip, and that's in short. You see Sama going with the long sleeves on top of his jersey. And it is that kind of day, folks. It was 79 degrees. That was the high about an hour ago, and it's dropped all the way down to 71. And once again, Muhammad going with those off spins, and that ends the over. Gets the wicket in the process as Ryan Shunn departs. 4 complete from Mercer County Park in New Jersey. The Titans 34 for 1.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Bhaskar Yadram back into the attack for the Philadelphians, pulling from the dog park end. It says Drysdale, but it looks like it'll be Bhaskar. Gave up 16 in his first over. Hopefully for him, trying to kind of settle down a little bit, as maybe that wicket giving them a bit of a change of scenery. And the first one he does hits Alex Algu on the derriere. And no run. It was not given as a wide. It looked awfully close, but Yadram, love the way he bowls. Again, one of these very good quicks that the Philadelphians have acquired. And that one is high up in the air, and Algu had to kind of throw his hands up and the bat to make sure it didn't plunk him right in the face. And fielded there, and Algu really had almost had to duck and cover. Algu on Monday, 14 off of 18. And he has played in Ohio. He's played up in New York. And he turns this one around the corner. They'll take a run off of this. Algu now 13 from 13, and that will bring Santi Sama up. Santosh Sama, and he's got Santi in quotes and parentheses, which means I can call him that. I assume that's what that means. And as we said, yeah, it's gotten chilly. And it's supposed to drop the temperature even tonight here in the Delaware Valley region. Central New Jersey is supposed to drop into the 50s. It is definitely, fall is definitely around the corner here. Titans ahead of the run rate. Going at 7.78. The asking rate is just under 7. A little flick at this, but it gets by Van Tull, and Sama didn't realize it until it was all the way down towards the boundary. And maybe if he was perhaps if he was a little bit more alert, there might have been a second run in the offing, but they'll take a bye. 36 for 1. At the end of the 5th over, the Philadelphians were 27 for 2, so the Titans are ahead of that. They are, however, are also ahead of the par score, which is 28. 2 balls to come in the 5th as Yadrum continues. Dab down off the front foot by Algu. One more ball, and this becomes an official game, and we still kind of have our eye on the radar. I think, I don't want to jinx it, but the hope is that we will have escaped the rain threat. There is still showers in the area, but it looks like it may not come by until we have finished. Fingers crossed. That one is cut into the ground by Alex Algu. Yadrum gives up 2. Better over from him. He's none for 17 after his second over. At the end of 5, chasing 141, the NYC Titans are 36 for 1.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, the Titans, they're, of course, a new moniker. They were the Empire State Titans up until last season. And a difficult finish to the season for them in 2023 as Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad continues from the Edinburgh Road end, having taken the wicket of Ryan Shunn. And they look to have a brighter outlook here in 2024. This one in on his legs, and Sama has to defend that. So Muhammad with 2 good balls to start his second over. And of course, we'll have more action for you tomorrow here from Mercer County Park, and we hope if you're in the area that you'll join us. And if not, you can join us on the MILC network, as this one is chipped up over the top, and that one's going to run all the way for 4. So Santi Sama is off the mark with a punch shot 4 down the ground. As you see it again, right in the block hole, and just step back and unleashed. So 40 for 1 now. So the Philadelphians, as we said, tomorrow they'll play the New Jersey Stallions. That's a 10 o'clock start Eastern time here at the ground. And then the afternoon game is the Manhattan Yorkers and NYC Titans. Cut down by Sama. The Stallions have the best winning percentage. They're, of course, 2-0. But they have 2 games in hand on the Cavaliers, and they'll have 3 games in hand on the Philadelphians. Actually, well, yeah, they'll still have 3. And that one is deflected behind the wicket to third man, and good fielding there in the deep by Drysdale. 1 ball to come. And that one is chipped in the air, but drops in front as Sama just dropped the bat on it. Good comeback by Muhammad. All he gave up was that 1 boundary, and the power play comes to an end. The New York Titans have 101 more runs to get. At the end of 6, the Titans are 40 for 1. And it looks like Sivaram Shawarma, a.k.a. Sivaram Chowdhury, who will come into the attack from the dog park end. At the end of the power play, the Philadelphians were 34 for 2, and so they're 6 runs ahead of that. Of course, they didn't really start to put things together until the death overs. Did the Philadelphians en route to that target of 141. We mentioned those games tomorrow. If you're not able to make it, you can join us here on the MLC Network, and if you're watching in India, right here on Fan Code. Lenny Achaibar and Matthew Achaibar will take you through all the action. And excited to hear those two, and hoping to get the chance in a couple of weeks' time to work with them here at Mercer Park. Here's Chowdhury. Went for a cut shot. They thought they heard a nick. Did they? Yes, they did. And there's the breakthrough off the first ball by Sivaram. And Alex Algu goes for 13 off of 16. And Jonathan Fu just talking back a little bit. Here it is once again. Let's see if we can see it. Yep, it definitely deviated. And a great job by Christopher Van Tull with a goalkeeper stop to his right. At a huge, huge wicket for the Philadelphians. They needed that one quick, fast, and in a hurry. And the Titans now 40 for 2. And perhaps just as important, both openers have now gone. And here is Ashish Kadipalli. Kadipalli had a good day with the ball. 1 for 23 from his 3 overs. Great job by Christopher Van Tull. This is where my wicketkeeper catches. That is his 4th, I believe, which would put him in the divisional lead this season. And Kadipalli will come in. That is the 11th all-time behind the wicket for Christopher Van Tull. The weather has been a factor, although the wind is not blowing around as much as it has. And that passing shower we thought was not much, and it happened during the interval, so there was no delay. Swarma comes in to Kadipalli, who tries to dab it down to the offside, but not far enough to get a run. And 2 very, very good balls from Sivaram. Well, the Philadelphians will have next week off after they play tomorrow. And then 3 games at the end of the season. All here at Mercer. Big swing, no ding. Good ball. This is great, great bowling from Chowdhury. And some ghosts of the Mercer pitch past as it's keeping low. And they've played on the leftmost of the three pitches that they have here. There's a lot of green to it. But big scores are possible. We saw 169 put up earlier today. We'll talk about the rest of the Philly schedule in just a moment. Oh, he played at that one. Again, looking to defend, more interested in defending the off stump. Another dot ball. So Philly, on Friday the 20th, will play the Manhattan Yorkers. That's a 2 o'clock start. On Saturday, they are not playing on Saturday. On Sunday, the 22nd, they'll play the Stallions again. That one was out towards the tram lines, but just inside, and another dot ball as Catapali kind of flailed at that. So they'll play their 6th game tomorrow, and then they'll have off and finish the last 2. They can hang on to a victory here. They'll be in really good shape. Tapped away to the offside. There goes the chance at the wicket maiden, but Sivaram Chowdhury is 1 for 1 from his 1 over, and a great comeback great fight back for now by the Philadelphians at the end of 7 with 100 more to get. The NYC Titans 41 for 2. So Surapal Islam we'll see for the first time today. Surapal been with the Philadelphians the last 3 seasons. Good young talent. And he'll come in from the Edinburgh Road end. Big swing. Did he get contact? I don't think it almost looked like he did. And it's going to be 1 high for the over as he tried to bounce Catapali, but almost looked like he would have gotten a touch on that. Good start by Surapal Islam. And that one is wide, but just in the field of play. Again, flirting with the tram lines. 13th match for Surapal Islam. He has taken 11 wickets. Had his best season last year when he took 8 wickets in 12.2 overs of work, including a 3 for 4 in that big victory, that huge victory in terms of, I guess, importance over Manhattan Yorkers. That was that 51-38 game, that 38 all-out game. And Surapal Islam took 3 for 4, which on most days would be the best bowling figures, except that Jonathan Fu bowled 4 for 1. Funny how that works sometimes. He's off to a good start here. And that one is stroked straight to the offside. Another dot ball. Catapali just 1 run off of 9. Well, the Philadelphians were struggling, I think, to get efficiency out of their batting. Ryan Shunn, who was 19 off of 13, was doing really good until he holed out to Devashwari Prasad. And this one is turned around to the onside, and it's far enough to get a run as Fu zings the ball back into the infield. Catapali goes to 2 off of 10. And the Titans, who are well ahead of the DLS par score, which just kind of a good guide to see, which team is ahead or which is not. They're now 6 runs behind it with 1 ball to come. Islam yesterday, none for 23 from his 4 overs. Final ball of his first. Dabbed away to the offside. And Sama will keep the strike as he keeps the scoreboard moving. Great over by Islam. He gives off just 2. At the end of 8, the New York City Titans chasing 141. They're 43 for 2. Back here at Mercer County Park in West Windsor Township, New Jersey, just north of Princeton. Brian Barisher with you. Great to have you along as we wrap up another day of minor league cricket as Sivaram continues, and another good ball. And Sama just kind of tried to drop his bat on it. So 30 for none were the Titans after 3 overs, and since the end of the 3rd, they have added just 13 runs in just over 4 overs. Another one aimed at the 5th stump, and Sama content to just let it go on to the keeper. This is good bowling from Sivaram. And I think this is what Jonathan Fu had wanted when he chose to bat first. Wanted to get as many runs as he could and then force the Titans to bat in this weather. Big swing, and he tried to come down the ground, did Sama, and came up with nothing but air. What a ball by Sivaram Chowdhury. This bowling attack has done well, and it's been a pretty strong attack over the course of the years. And with Bhaskar Yadram now, it's improved so much. Driven down the ground, but fielded in the deep there. They have come through for a single. That was off into the hands of Ashish Vatem. 44 for 2. 2 balls left in this 9th over. 97 required off of 68. The Philadelphians trying to win their 4th game of this season and stamp themselves at the top of the Eastern Division. Thought there may have been an edge. Big appeal by Chowdhury, but the umpire not moved. Oh, that is just, they're just bowling really well, and Kadapali will see it again. He tried to get the ball, tried to get the bat down on it, and this is going to just hold up there. I don't think he got it. I don't think he got an edge to it. But a good ball nonetheless. Last ball of the over. Big swing, no contact, and a good job by Van Tull to stop it from going through. Great job by Sivaram Chowdhury as he allows just 1 run. 9 complete. The NYC Titans are 44 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Surpal Islam continues from the Edinburgh Road end. giving up just 2 runs off the over. His first over anyway. And the asking rate is ballooned up to near 9. And the Titans are hovering at around 5. Islam comes in, and Sama tries to drop the bat on it. And it's a great job by the Philadelphians to limit, really, the efficiency. Again, we say it again. These two have combined for 8 runs off of 27 deliveries. And that's a fantastic, fantastic defensive strike rate. Islam in again. Oh, went for that one, and that one got over everybody, and that one's going to come all the way for 4. I don't know that there was any contact on that, although we'll double check. It's 1 for the over. Yeah, those are going to be given as buys. It's 1 high for the over, and that went over the shoulder, over the hands of Christopher Van Tol, and all the way down to the right of Mohsen and his camera for 4 runs. Those won't be charged to Islam, but that brings them up to 48 for 2. We mentioned where the Philadelphians were where the two teams were at the end of the power play. There's another swing right through it, and another good ball a better ball from Islam. The Philadelphians got to their 50 in the 7th over, and we're in the 10th now. And it really started to accelerate a little bit, and that's when it got towards the end, and that's when Jonathan Fu started to get into it, and Vishwari Prashad as well. See a couple of the subs for the Philadelphians. Again, hoping to pick up their 4th win of the season. Reminder that the top 2 of these 6 teams go on to the playoffs. There's another one that's up high. This time he got bat to it and steered it all the way down the fine leg for 4. So Santi Sama got another high delivery, but this time he got the willow to it and picks up the boundary. And that brings up the Titans 50. They go to 52 for 2. Second boundary for Sama. He now goes to double digits. He's 10 off of 18, and the Titans cross 50 with 2 wickets down in the 10th over. Just tried to punch that one forward. Fielded by Ryan Scott. Usually see him posted in the outfield, but always ready to get on his horse and field near the pitch. 1 ball left in the first half of this second innings, in the second game of our doubleheader. Cuts this one away. He'll pick up a run, but it's going to get fielded in the deep by Drysdale. And that ends the over. 8 runs off of it. It's the best one that the Titans have had in some time. They need 88 off the final 60. They're 10 complete. It's the NYC Titans, 53 for 2. John Drysdale comes in. That one's in the air. Was that a catch? No, it was dropped by Sivaram Chowdhury, but you know what? 11 points for effort there as he dove forward and got his paws to it. Let's see this one again. As Drysdale coming in from the dog park end. Shorter ball, chipped up in the air. Let's see it. Yep, he had 2 hands on the ball and then just scored it away from him. But you know what? That'll count as a drop, but you know what? The effort was there, and that was a very difficult catch. Drives this one down the ground. They took one from that one to bring Catapali on strike. No run. You see the captain, Jonathan Fu, as we mentioned, 4-year Philadelphians player, talisman of this Philadelphian side for so long, and really kind of coming back into his own, a little bit quieter with the bat in 22 and 23, but he helped lead the Philadelphians to this target, which they are trying to defend as this one is cut away to the offside, but not far enough. The relay throw is wide, and Philly trying not to throw the ball too far around. Good job by Drysdale. 14 runs from 2.5 overs. 87 from 57. Peek inside the officials' tent on this gray day here in Philadelphia, here in Mercer County. Off his toes, and he's gone. He is. Just off his shoes, and Drysdale has his first wicket as Catapali just couldn't get it going. He faced 15 deliveries and ended up with just 2 runs. Drysdale with a big, big wicket. And they are now 54 for 3. You could sense it coming from the first ball of this over. And he went with the length ball. As we see it again, it just hit him on the toes, in line, and would have gone through. And the umpire's finger goes up. Mihir Patel sends him on his way. Catapali is LBW'd by John Drysdale for 2 from 15 face, and the NYC Titans 54 for 3. If the Titans are going to have any sort of chance, the gentleman now coming up, Kwame Patton Jr., is going to need to put up some numbers. 145 runs in his minor league cricket career. Top score of 33, which he achieved 2 years ago, at least based on what we have here. Left-handed batter. Drysdale wants to try and limit his damage and get him walking back on his way as soon as he can. He'll face from the left-hand side, and Drysdale will come in over the wicket. In on the pads, another big appeal, but this time Mihir Patel says, and I think that may have been going down leg a little bit. But there was a huge appeal. Everybody was convinced. Let's see. Yep. Definitely pitched leg side, at least from what we could see. But it's a dot ball, none all the same. Drysdale has picked up technically 4 of those, including the wicket to Catapali. And Patton tried to push it forward and then tried to sneak a run out of it. Drysdale was on it in a flash. Great over from Jonoy. He's 1 for 14 from his 3. The Philadelphians have seized control of this game back. They need 87 off of 54 to the Titans at the end of 11. They're 54 for 3. Saurabh Islam continues from the Edinburgh Road end with Santosh Sama. 12 from 21. He has 2 fours. Drysdale, Muhammad, and Chowdhury all have the wickets for Philly. And the 12th over begins with a defensive dab down the wicket. And Philadelphians, after 11, were 58 for 5. But then that's when they started to really turn things on. And the par score, we'll tell you in a second here. And this one is bounced and cut away by Sama. They'll take a run. 55 for 3. The par score, 74. So they're 19 behind that are the Titans. But that, again, that just gives you a guide. And, of course, I mean, the real reason for that to be used is that if the game were to be cut short now because of rain. And right now we're okay. We mentioned there was some drizzle and some light rain in the area that actually passed through at the end of the Philadelphians innings. And if there was going to have been a delay or was going to stop play, I think that the rain that would have done so came through during the interval, so we had no delay. Cut away by Patton. They got halfway down the wicket before realizing they had to go back, and thankfully for Patton and for Sama, they both realized it in time as Jonathan Fu got the ball in. Another dot ball for Islam. Drysdale has the most so far, 13 out of his 18. Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad has 10 dot balls from his 2 overs. Islam in again. Oh, did he get a touch to that? The appeal there, and Colin Edwards, the umpire, not moved, but we hear these sounds. It's interesting. I keep thinking like it's a bat sound or something or some sort of deflection, but it's just the oomph, I guess, of the swing. But again, got up a little bit high on Patton Jr. I didn't see whether or not a high was signaled. And that one kept low, bounces away from Van Tull, but not far enough as Kwame Patton Jr. started to come down the track, but quickly about faced. Good stop by Christopher Van Tull. He's been, I think, an innumerable addition to this Philadelphian side, and coming in after Mario Rampersad went down to Fort Lauderdale and doing a fantastic job behind the wicket and also with the bat too, of course. 74 not out in that loss against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers on Monday. Cut away by Kwame Patton Jr. And they come through for a run, but that's it. Surpal Islam just allows 2 in that over. He has given up none for 9 from 3. He's doing fantastically. And so are the Philadelphians. They're holding the Titans down at the end of 12. They're 56 for 3. Sivaram Chowdhury will come back into the attack. He's 1 for 2 from his 2 overs. And he'll bowl from the dog park end. Big swing once again by Kwame Patton Jr. and again no contact. Chowdhury getting Alex Algu to nick to Christopher Van Tull, which I think helped change the trajectory of this game. And this is about the point where the Philadelphians in their innings really went from being on the back foot to being on the front foot. This one is hit high in the air. There's a man in the deep. He goes back and unfortunately didn't get it. He eyed that all the way, but came in and then went all the way back, just checking to see who that is. I think that may have been Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad, who looked like he had it off the bat and he was tracking this one through the guys. He looked pretty confident, like he had it, but then just at the last minute, he realized he was maybe about 3 steps too much in front, and the ball dropped in and bounced over for a 4. That is the first boundary in, well, let's see. We got to go back a bit. Oh, since the 10th over. Big swing by Kwame Patton. Van Tull thought there may have been a nick, but no. Good comeback by Chowdhury. The Titans 60 for 3 with 3 balls left in his 13th over. Brian Barish here with you. And big thanks to you watching on MLC Network as well as in India on Fan Code. Glad to have your company as we wind down this day. Big swing again by Kwame Patton Jr. And again, he's not able to do anything with it. And they are starting to get a little bit more desperate, I think, to get something started as the asking rate has now gone over 11 runs. They themselves, the Titans, are under 5. 81 required off of 44 balls. Comes down the ground. This one has hit a ton, and this one is gone for 6. Kwame Patton Jr. says, "This is what I can do when I put my mind to it," and he sends that one 3/4 of the way up to New York. Shawarma bowling him across and just going with the flow, swinging that one nice and across the body. Kwame Patton Jr. And he goes to double digits now. He's 11 off 11. That strike rate can change very quickly. The first time that the Philadelphians have surrendered double digits since the 2nd over. And this one is turned to the onside, and Kwame Patton Jr. is going to keep the strike. He gets 11 runs off this over. Well, that makes the equation a little bit better, brings the run rate down a little bit. They need 74 off the last 7 overs. After 13, the Titans 67 for 3.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Surapal Islam will bowl his 4th and final over. Continuing from the Edinburgh Road end. Big swing by Kwame Patton Jr. as he tried to go upstairs. And a good ball to start things off by Surapal Islam. None for 9. And on the pads, a quick-looking appeal there, and maybe if he doesn't turn and appeal, then he can at least go after the ball. But good job by Patton and Sama to squeeze out a leg by. Here it is again. You'll see here that as soon as he delivers it, so here it is. I think it would have been happening up high. And I'm not saying you would have gotten him, or I'm not saying you would have prevented the run, but that's one of those instances where, I mean, I think that's a valid appeal, but in the end, they squeeze a run out. We're just keeping an eye as well on just some of the stuff that's happening around the grounds here. And in Santa Clara, California, the Silicon Valley Strikers were bowled out for 96. East Bay Blazers need 24 off of 44 in that game in the West. And it's been a dominant performance by the Bay Area teams in that Western Division. Say for that one time the Thunderbolts kind of blew past them and won the title in 2022. This is flipped up in the air, going back. Oh, off the hands. Oh, he went all the way back. That another one, A for effort, and some applause from our right, but that once again was Ashish Vitam, just off his hands. I'll tell you what, he did well to just get his hands to it, and Christopher Van Tull came over and gave him a high five. Oh, that was awfully close. That's the second one where it's been a really, really good play. And, yeah, you consider that a drop, but the effort just to get to the ball. And Islam comes back with another good one that floats by. Here it is. It was a little scoop shot over the top, and he read this. He absolutely did, and just bounced off his hands. But, again, he did well just to get to the ball. You can't be too mad if you're a fan or anyone. It's good hustle, and one thing Philly sports fans love is hustle. Oh, and that one is turned and slashed to the onside. And that one is gone all the way for a big six by Kwame Patton Jr. That's his second. And it's been a while since they've had one of those. It's only their fourth of the innings. 75 for 3 now. And Islam, let's see, he saw his, let's see, there was one in the last over. I thought there would have been one before. This one is cut away, but right to a fielder. And in fact, it is Jonathan Fu who takes the catch. And so Kwame Patton Jr. went and he he's talking to him. He's jabbering at him as Kwame Patton goes away, and you can tell he's giving Saurabh Islam a lot of encouragement there. Islam gets his first wicket in his final ball of the day. He finishes 1 for 16, and the captain, wow, love watching Jonathan Fu play. And again, he tried to cut this one away, and it was right at him, just catching this one over. And as he slammed the ball down, he said, "Use your head, baby, use your head." That ends the 14th over. The Titans in trouble. They're 75 for 4. So Bhaskar Yadram will come into the attack, and we will see Rawal Zaman, who will come in. He was the one, by the way, I'm pretty sure, because he's the only number we didn't have on the sheet. He's the one who bowled those 2 overs that on the scorecard as of now are credited to Keshav Rawal. So he bowled those 2 overs. Because if you look at the score sheet on crickclubs.com/MILC, you'll see that Keshav Rawal has credited with 6 overs, which is not legal. As Yadram comes in, and Santosh Sama, who is now on 15 off of 25, dabs the ball down. They'll take a run, and now Zaman will come up for the first time in his Titans debut. He was the only in for the Philadelphia, actually, one of 2, alongside Santosh Sama, in for Gaurav Jaiswal and Raj Mahabi, who is the captain. Off the pad, big shout, but umpire Mihir Patel shakes his head and says, "Nuh-uh." Or if he was Aussie, he would be, nope, well, wait, no, he did pick his finger up. Never mind. He was not very demonstrative with it, but there is Zaman, who, on his first ball, is sent away. It's a golden duck. Thanks for coming. Here's your hat. What's your hurry? Bhaskar Yadram has his first wicket, 76 for 6. And Bhaskar Yadram, now all 5 bowlers for the Philadelphians have a wicket. And they may, we've mentioned how some of these other bowlers, where Jonathan Fu is still lurking, but Bhaskar Yadram, another wicket for him. And now, let's see. He had that 4 for in 1, 2, and then he just had another one, so 8 wickets now for Bhaskar Yadram. And in his career, I think that's 48 wickets now. And of course, that opening day, 4 for 5. So here now is Zope. Omkar Zope, who was the opener the first couple of games for the Titans. And he's been dropped all the way down now to number 7. And the Philadelphians, who they struggled in their innings. They came back to put up a good score. They looked like they were in trouble early here. And the bowling has been absolutely magnificent as Yadram makes Zope swing and miss on that one. The last game, he was dismissed by Arjun Vijala for 2 in the Titans' loss on Monday. Of course, the Titans back in action tomorrow in the second game of the Sunday doubleheader here against the Yorkers. That one is driven down the ground. Will come through for a single, and Zope is off the mark. One more ball to come in this 15th over. 64 needed off of 31. And Santosh Sama, 15 off of 25, is you really would want to see a little bit better of a strike rate, but he's been playing thoughtfully. Now he's going to need to play a little bit more freely, you would think. Well, in trying to do that, he tried to scoop Bhaskar Yadram, and instead the ball sailed over his head. Great over by Bhaskar Yadram, 2 and the wicket. At the end of 15, the NYC Titans are 77 for 5. They need 64 off the final 30 deliveries. Well, the 6th bowler of the afternoon for the Philadelphians in Devashwari Prasad comes in, left-hander who bowls over the wicket and behind the right-hander Zope. And umpire Colin Edwards spreads his wings and starts to sing T for Temple U. He doesn't, but that's what it looks like he did. Prasad yesterday against Manhattan, done for 21, as this one is hoiked down the ground, and Zope sends this one over the boundary and has done so and gotten maximum effect for 6 runs. Well, they need boundaries. They need 4s and 6s, and he takes Prashad. This was a BB that just cleared the rope on the fly. And it looked like, now I thought the initial signal was that he put his hands up. And it's been given as 4, and I'm wondering if they're double checking. Well, the other side of that is they've lost the ball. So I thought that it was a 6, but I swear I thought I saw Colin Edwards put his hands up, but it was given as 4. But that is still a boundary, and they still need more of those. It's 59 off of 29, and again he tries to go downtown, and again he's going to get another 4. So a couple of boundaries for Amkar Zope. He goes to 9 off of 5, and the target gets a little bit closer. Again, hit on a line. 55 needed off of 28. Prashad comes in again. Big swing and a good comeback by Devashwari Prashad. Three balls to come. 55 off of 27. The asking rate is more than 2 runs a ball. This one driven back down the ground, and they'll scamper through for a single to bring Santosh Sama back up. 87 for 5. So it'll be interesting to see if they use Prashad again in the death overs. Drysdale still has 1, Yadram still has 1, AJ Muhammad still has 2, and Chowdhury still has 1. They've bowled out Surapol Islam 1 for 16. Back to him. Did he? Almost. Devashwari Prashad almost took that catch off his shoelaces. Final ball of the 16th. Just smack down the ground to the onside, and they'll come through, and Sama will keep the strike. As we take a look at this near catch by Devashwari Prashad, right back at him, and just dropped in front. I think it would have been very difficult for him to make that catch. But he gives up 11 in the over. Philly in good shape. The Titans need 53 from the last 24. After 16, they're 88 for 5. Oh, that's why. Four overs to go, and AJ Muhammad, Abdul Jabbar Muhammad, will come into the attack now from the dog park end, and he brings his spin in. 1 for 8 off of his 2 overs so far. The Philadelphians, if they can see this out, trying to go to 4-1, go to 8 points, would be 2 points clear of the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. As Muhammad comes in, and it's a reverse sweep, but it's all air. There's a man there at fine leg. He takes the catch. It's John I. Drysdale. Sama tried to get cute, but John I. Drysdale is there to snaffle it, and Santi Sama has to go for 16. He knew exactly what he was going to do, but he Air Jordaned this one right to Drysdale, who waited and took a confident catch. So Sama caught Drysdale, bowled by Muhammad. That's the second for Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad. He's now 2 for 8. And the NYC Titans are 88 for 6. They require 53 off of 18 as Mario Laban comes out. Laban coming off of a 5-run performance before being bowled by Karen Patel of the New Jersey Stallions on Monday. The Titans looking for their first victory, as we mentioned, 0-2. Having fallen to the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers in their first game on Sunday. And then falling to the Stallions on Monday. They'll have the Yorkers tomorrow. Of course, Lenny and Matt Chaibar will be here to bring you all the action, beginning at 10 o'clock. Laban is ready from the right side. Here's Muhammad. Strokes it down the ground. Good stop by Muhammad, who dove all the way to his left to prevent a run from being taken. He's been a solid bowler, contributor defensively for the Philadelphians. And Laban tried to open up, bounces away from Van Tull, but the Guyanese wicket keeper keeps that in front of him. And he comes again. Slapped away by Laban and goes all the way to long off. And they'll take a run. So Laban goes off the mark, 1 off of 3. And that brings Zope back to the strike. Siddhant Pillai, who was the top scorer, is still on the bench. And that one is off of the top of his leg pad. I believe he may have gotten some bat to that for Amkar Zope, but he come through for a run. And Mihir Patel was almost bonked on the head in the process. This one is hit high in the air and gone for 6. Just over the head of the man along on. And Laban goes downtown for his first boundary and the 5th of the day for the Titans. As Vatem, all he could do was turn and watch it go. And that ends the over, 96 for 6. Bhaskar Yadram will come in to bowl the 18th. He'll be bowled out here, 1 for 19. And the equation for the Titans is not great. 45 off of 18. And this one is driven and right down to Sharma. And they've come through for a run. And Zope, knowing that at this point they need a boundary off of every ball, basically, to have a fighting chance. The run rate over 15. And so if it's 6 runs, that's essentially a run a ball. 12 would be 2 runs a ball. The Philadelphians have done great to clamp down. Full toss, got him! Laban's eyes opened up to a full toss, but that one caromed straight into the off stump. And Bhaskar Yadram has his second wicket. LeBron is on his way, and the bell may have tolled for the Titans. They are 97 for 8. I'll tell you what. Ooh. That was a ball that Aaron Nola would have been proud of. That was a curveball. Just had nastiness to it. And LeBron just looked like you could tell, and he pulled away a bit. He was backing up somewhat to try and smash that to smithereens. But instead, it was the wickets who got smashed, and he goes. And now here's Siddhant Pillai, who in the last game against the Stallions had a top score of 39. But the problem is that he had his 39 in 44 balls, and they only have 16 to play with. Pillai against Yadram. Ooh, just got caught up in his armpit, and he's lucky that it didn't go any further back because it was dangerously close to the stumps. A good ball by Bhaskar Yadram. 2 for 20 for Bhaskar Yadram. What a game. What a result this will be if this holds up. The Philadelphians, again, if you missed it, they were in all sorts of trouble at 67 for 6, and it looked like even getting the triple digits would have been a chore. Tried to cut this one away. It goes through to Van Tol, no run. Good job on both sides. Jonathan Fu and Devashwari Prasad putting on what may be a match-winning partnership of 73. As that is Viral Parikh, who looks to be coming in at number 10. If one of these two gets out, turned around by Pillai, and he'll get off the mark. Going to be stopped right on the boundary by Vitem. You see the think tank for the Titans coming in this year. New identity, new colors. 99 for 7. They require 42 off of 13, and the run rate inching towards 20. And it will do that unless they get a boundary. Final ball of the 18th over coming in. Driven down the ground, they'll take one. Pillai will hang on to the strike as he goes to 3. But a big wicket of Mario Lebon by Bhaskar Yadram. He finishes the day 2 for 23 with 2 overs to go and 41 required. The Titans are 100 for 7.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So 12 balls remaining, and the Philadelphians are in the catbird seat here. And again, that run down the stretch from them as John I. Drysdale will prepare to bowl this 19th over. In the last 5 overs for the Philadelphians, 16, 12, 8, 8, and 16 from the 16th on. For the Titans, it's been 11, 8, and 4. And that, I think, has been the difference as Pillai faces Drysdale. That one is turned around to the onside. They'll take one, and they'll have to run for a while to get to this one, but the boundary wins the race, and that is a needed boundary for Pillai. They are going to need those with every ball. It's 37 off of 11 now. They need at least 3 runs a ball. That's the rub. Drysdale was 1 for 14 coming into this over. As we mentioned, Played for the San Francisco Unicorns, team that fell to the Washington Freedom in the MLC final, as he bounces this one, and it's turned around again by Pillai. They get one, thought about a second, and just checking to see if this will count as a high ball. But 105 for 7, so 36 off of 10 now. And Zope comes up. Again, the Philadelphians, just a reminder, they'll play the New Jersey Stallions tomorrow at 10 o'clock here at Mercer Park. The Manhattan Yorkers will play the Titans. And this one is high in the air. There's a man coming in. He takes the catch. And that's the end of Omkar Zope. And that, I believe, is Sorapol Islam. But either way, Zope has to go. And that is the 8th, as Drysdale picks up his second. As Zope has to go. In fact, it was Devashwari Prashad. And the Titans now 105 for 8 with 9 balls to go. Here it is again. And Zope coming down the ground. He knew what shot he was going to do. And Prashad comes in on his knees, diving forward. And a very secure hand, very secure catch. You can trust a baby with those hands. And Parikh will come in at number 10. And now they need 4 runs a ball. Drysdale 2 for 19 off of 3.5 overs. There'll be a big clash tomorrow against the Stallions. Again, team that won the Eastern Division the first 2 seasons before the Philadelphians took that title from them. As Parikh strokes this one down the ground, they'll take 1, think about a second, but not if Ryan Scott has anything to say about that. He beams the ball back in. Pantold does a good job of cutting it off. Good fielding by Ryan Scott. Parikh off the mark on his first ball. 35 now needed off of 8. And Philadelphians are okay with giving up those singles. The Stallions, as we mentioned, their last game was that victory over the Titans yesterday, or on Monday. Dominique Ricci, Sai Mukamala, Sir Pete Madan. Big swing and just under the bat, in between bat and bail for Pillai. 1 remaining in the 19th over, and it is very close to becoming an impossible dream for the Titans. Jesse Singh, of course, with the Stallions. Be interested to see. We have Arjun Vijala, of course, Sachimila Varapu. Should be a good clash, and of course that's 10 o'clock, the first of 2 games. Matt and Lenny Achaibar will bring you all the action here on the MLC Network. Final ball of the 19th over comes in. It's up high and not offered at by Pillai, and that ends the over. And the Philadelphians are just about home. 1 over to go, 19 complete. The Titans are 106 for 8. So it'll be Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad who will bowl the 20th and final over. And the New York City Titans require 35 runs off of 6 balls, and they're going to need 6s off of every one, as Viral Parikh requests a new helmet. Or perhaps he's going to bat without it against the spin bowler in Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad. If he doesn't get a 6 here, it will officially be over. And he swings for the fences, and The ball ends up in the glove, and that, unless he oversteps or just throws the ball all over the place, should do it. This one is flicked to the onside. They'll come through for one and one only as Parikh goes to 2. 107 for 8. And they are 34 from 4. And that's Philadelphians will get their 4th win of the season. This one is popped up in the air right behind on the offside at mid-wicket. Or the square, beg your pardon, as Pillai goes to 9 from 9. So the Titans are still in search of their first win. They'll go looking for it tomorrow against Manhattan, and there is a celebratory wicket from Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad as he clean bowls Parikh. His 3rd. He's now 3 for 18. And the Titans 108 for 9, and the Philadelphians celebration beginning early. 2 balls still to come. And Keshav Raval will be the last man in to face these last 2 deliveries as Muhammad perhaps looks for a fourfer. And if he gets it, it would be his first. In this, his 29th match. So here is Raval. The Philadelphians are going to win and go to 8 points at 4-1. The Stallions have 3 games in hand on them. They face the Stallions tomorrow in what could be a preview of the best 2 teams in this division. And Raval with a swing at that, a stumping attempt by Christopher Van Tol. So here comes the final ball of the game. And the Philadelphians set for another victory in defense of their Eastern Division title. Raval plays this one off the pads. The ball will eventually be fielded by Devashwari Prasad, and the ball game is over. And it is a thorough victory by the Philadelphians here. They come home winners by 32 runs, as the Philadelphians put up a total of 140 for 6. And even though the power play looked very promising for the Titans, thanks to Ryan Shunn and Alex Algu and Kwame Patton with a little bit of a flare in the middle there, Jonathan Fu and company, thanks to their 73-run partnership, him and Devashwari Prasad, with 73 runs for the final wicket. That is a match-winning partnership, and Philly picks up their 4th win. As you see, Murali, one of the owners, coming out congratulating both teams. He and the rest of the ownership group here in Philadelphia trying to build a champion and trying to win their 2nd consecutive Eastern Division title. And with 4 victories, they have at least assured that they will finish no worse than 500 on the season. As for the Titans, they now go to 0-3 in the playoffs, quickly becoming a fantasy right now. But they'll have a chance against a smarting Manhattan New Yorkers team who were blitzed by the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers in our first game by 97 runs. As the 2 teams shake hands here at Mercer County Park, it's been a wonderful, if not blustery and cold day of cricket here in Mercer County. A quick look at the Titans scorecard shows that, nobody got higher than 20. Alex Algu, 13. Ryan Shunn, 19. Santi Sama, 16. Ashish Katapali was dismissed by Drysdale for 2. Kwame Patton Jr., who was the captain today, 18 off of 17, was looking very promising. Rawal Zaman came and went with a golden duck in his opener. And Zope with 12. As you look at the match summary, and it's Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad, who is the top bowler for the Philadelphians, 3 for 18. Bhaskar Yadraman, John I. Drysdale each picked up 2 wickets. Jonathan Fu with 41 alongside Devashwari Prasad's 27 and Ryan Scott's 38 at the beginning stoking the Philadelphians to a 32-run victory. That'll do it for us. A reminder again, a doubleheader tomorrow alongside Matthew Achaibar and Lenny Achaibar getting underway at 10 o'clock Eastern time as the Philadelphians come back to take on the 2-0 New Jersey Stallions in what should be a cracking game here on what should be a good day for cricket. And then in the nightcap at 2 o'clock, it'll be the Manhattan Yorkers against the NYC Titans, who are still looking for their first victory at 0-3. We hope you'll join us then here on the MLC Network. Once again, for our production crew, for Umair and for Mo and for everyone who has brought to you today's game from Mercer County, this is Brian Barish wishing you a pleasant good evening. Drysdale sees this one get cut away by Algu, and those are his first runs. And he opens up and blasts this one deep and gone for 6. Over the head of Sivaram Sharma. They'd love to see Philly lose as this one is cut away over the drawn-in infield, and that's going to roll away through the wet outfield for 4 spectacular catches. And this one is cut away and cut through the infield. And that one will have the legs and skitter over the rope like a cockroach on the bathroom floor. There it is again, and this time he takes him deep. Way, way out of here for a 6 by Alex Algu. That one is cut away into a vacant outfield because of the power play, and that runs all the way for 4. Another boundary for Ryan Shunn, St. Louis Americans. Cut away once again, but this time there's a fielder. You can join us on the MILC network as this one is chipped up over the top, and that one's going to run all the way for 4. So Santi, here's Chowdhury. Went for a cut shot. They thought they heard a nick. Did they? Yes, they did. And again. Oh, went for that one, and that one got over everybody, and that one's going to come all the way for 4. I don't know that to the playoffs. There's another one that's up high. This time he got bat to it and steered it all the way down the fine leg for 4. So Santi Sama got another high delivery, but this time he got the willow to it. Off his toes, and he's gone. He is. Just foot to being on the front foot. This one is hit high in the air. There's a man in the deep. He goes back and unfortunately didn't get it. He eyed that all the way, but comes down the ground. This one has hit a ton, and this one is gone for 6. Kwame Patton Jr. said, oh, and that one is turned and slashed to the onside. Let's see. Well, there was one in the last over. I thought there would have been one before. This one is cut away, but right to a fielder, and in fact, it is Jonathan Fu, Hobby, who is the captain. Off the pad, big shout, but umpire Mihir Patel shakes his head and says, Manhattan. Done for 21 as this one is hoiked down the ground, and Zope sends this one over the boundary 9 off of 29. And again, he tries to go downtown, and again, he's going to get another 4. So a couple of boundaries as Muhammad comes in, and it's a reverse sweep, but it's all air. There's a man there at fine leg. He takes the catch. It's John I Drysdale. This one is hit high in the air and gone for 6. Just over. Great to clamp down. Full toss, got him. Drysdale. That one is turned around to the onside. They'll take 1, and they'll have to run for a while to get to this one, but the boundary wins the race, and that is a Manhattan Yorkers will play the Titans. And this one is high in the air. There's a man coming in. He takes the catch. Search of their first win. They'll go looking for it tomorrow against Manhattan, and there is a celebratory wicket from Abdul-Jabbar Muhammad.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.